They say I'm the plug, I don't talk it out.
Welcome everyone to a new video. So today we're going to talk about Lecrae vs NF, their album sales. So I did a video like this a few months ago now, and then I kind of went over a bit a month ago, but I also got this idea from someone off Instagram called Endureth Forever. So thank you very much for this video idea. You guys can give me video ideas in the comments or Twitter or Instagram, and I possibly will shout you out if I remember. This time I did. I've gotten ideas from you guys in the past and I forgot to. We're just discussing facts. I mean, I get the comparison part, but I just find it to be fun. Doesn't mean NF is any less of a person or Lecrae is any less of a person. It's just my predictions for it. So I'm gonna go talk numbers and my predictions for it. So we'll start off with NF. So Mansion, he sold 9,000 equivalent album sales. In Therapy Session, he sold about 25,000. And then with Lecrae, Anomaly sold about 88,000. So obviously that's a massive jump, but that was about 3 years ago. I guess the market was a bit different with streaming and stuff. And then Church Clothes 3 sold 29,207, but that was a surprise drop. So if he hyped it up like he is with All Things Work Together, or he probably did with Anomaly, then it probably would have been a lot different. Now obviously Lecrae and NF are in different parts of their career. I think this is Lecrae's 8th or 9th album, something like that. This is NF's 3rd album, so obviously they're in different parts of their careers and their lives. NF's like 26, Lecrae's like late 30s I think, or in his 30s, so there's a big difference there. Now obviously with NF, the hype for him has skyrocketed him. I mean, the fact that he's even in this discussion is actually pretty crazy, where like 3-4 years ago no one knew about him, but Lecrae was selling, I mean, 88,000 and getting Grammys and stuff back then. So I mean, it's definitely interesting. I do find these discussions exciting though, and I put out a poll on Twitter. It's got about 51 votes so far in 2 hours. It was 67% for NF and 33% for Lecrae when asked whose album are you more excited for. So I know I do have quite a lot of NF fans, and they're a lot more devoted than I see Lecrae fans lately. Obviously Lecrae has a much larger base. He's got, I mean, I think he's got 2.5 million on Facebook and over 1 million on Twitter and Instagram. So with NF, he's got like 300k on Instagram. But I think the reason why this is even a discussion is because NF's fans are so devoted that I think they're much more likely to buy a Lecrae album. And because all of them are so fresh, a lot of them came after Therapy Session, which I mean, that's like just over a year ago. So NF has a lot more fresh fans, and they're also excited because they want to join him in the come up. Lecrae's been around for ages, but I'm sure he probably does have a lot of new fans as well. So I mean, I don't want to discount him for that. So we know with NF, in about 7 to 8 months, he did 100,000, not including streams. So I mean, that's good. It obviously shows, I mean, yes, obviously shows progression. And I'm not sure how many streams he had up to that point, so I can't really calculate that. But I mean, he does have a lot of streams. I mean, he has like tens of millions on some songs, so I'm sure that would count. And it's about 1,500 streams to 1 album sale. So my predictions for NF and Lecrae. Also, another factor we have to factor in is that NF's album has 16 tracks and Lecrae's has 14. So NF has a better chance of getting more streaming numbers, which equals potentially more album sales and so on. So my predictions, I think for NF's Perception, I'm predicting he did up, I think it was 29,000 equivalent that he did for Therapy Session. I'm not sure, but it's around 25,000. Perception, I'm predicting about 50,000 to 75,000. So for some of you, you might be like, wow, that's so low. Some of you might think, whoa, that's way too too big, but if you think about it, within a year, NF like tripled. So if he does that again, that's at 75,000, and I think the hype for him has done more than tripled. So I mean, there's the potential he could get above 75,000, but with like the climate, everyone streams now. But NF's fans are very, very devoted, so I know they're probably willing to buy the album anyway, unlike some other fans of maybe like mainstream rappers who aren't very deep in their music like NF is, so they don't have as much connection and they don't feel like they need to buy the album. But anyway, Lecrae, I'm predicting 60,000 to 100,000, because I think where he is at his career, I mean, he's got much more opportunity to do much bigger numbers. So like, obviously there's a bit of overlap there. From what I'm seeing, I honestly think NF has a lot more hype around him, but hype can be deceiving though. So I would like to know your guys' thoughts. I mean, NF's fans are probably like him, like extremely motivated and optimistic, so I wouldn't be surprised if like 80% of my comments were NF's gonna outsell him. And then there might be like the old heads that probably never listened to NF songs saying, how can you disrespect Lecrae like that? But yeah, let me know your guys' thoughts. This is all in fun. You guys from last video, I'm pretty sure you guys want that podcast with Cakes Mitchell, and you want that Beam video. So Beam video tomorrow possibly. I mean, I'm getting back on the grind again. Thank you guys so much. Getting a lot of support lately, a lot of subs. Go and follow me on Twitter at DavidLivick. I've been tweeting a lot. Go and support me on Patreon if you actually support what I'm doing. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you guys in my next video.